We are getting it all done, working on my quite large August to-do list. Yesterday I sat down and brainstormed some jobs for both inside the house and then outside and the garage, and over the next couple of days I'll be just slowly chipping away at that list. But if you are in need of some cleaning and organization motivation, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. The first job on my to-do list is a very simple one. Hunter was having his morning nap and I wasn't sure whether it was going to be his usual 30-minute or if I'd get a bit longer out of him. I did get longer, which was fantastic, but I was able to cross off a few jobs. First one being swap over some of my dried eucalyptus leaves. I had 2 vases full of those and some of them were looking a little bit worse for wear. So I just got rid of the ugly ones and consolidated them into one vase, which is on the console table in our living room. So it did mean that the sort of winter ambience atmosphere that I've got going on the dining room table was a little bit lackluster after the dried florals were removed, but that is all right because we are almost at the end of the winter season and pretty soon I'll be setting up my spring tablescape instead. Because I was getting a little bit of extra sleep out of him, I decided to press on to another job. I just wanted to tick a few easy ones off the list in case I ran out of time. So my second job was to change over the bed linen on the spare bed. I have some sheets that my mum gave me for this bed. It is just a double and I didn't have any double sheets. And this one that I'm putting on is more of a flannelette one, so it's great for winter time in case we have any guests over, for them to be nice and cozy. And then I also wanted to put on this white bedspread because now that we have the blinds in this room, it does make it quite dark. So I wanted to counterbalance that by having some white bedding to sort of brighten up the space a little bit. Fortunately, the bedding that I swapped out does have a tendency to molt and get fluff everywhere. So after I changed over the bed linen, I did need to just quickly breeze over the room with the vacuum cleaner so that it was good to go. And considering that I had a little bit of extra time up my sleeve, I decided to also fold up the clean washing that I had drying for a couple of days on our little inside clothesline. I just typically have it in our master bedroom here. We've got a window and I will lift the blind up and let the sunlight help to dry that, or sometimes I will even put it out on our front veranda. I know that it's exposing our laundry to all the neighbors, but we live in such a lovely quiet street that I'm not too worried about it, and at least the sea breeze and the sunshine helps it to dry a lot quicker and saves me from having to use the dryer. This is Hunter's second nap of the day, so I decided to tick off another easy job, which was to vacuum out the tracks of these big sliding doors, both in the living room and then also the slider in the laundry as well. I'm not actually sure if I've gone and given these door tracks a good vacuum since living here, and there was a lot of dirt and dust, so they certainly needed a go. Speaking of not giving things a proper dust, when we moved into the house, for the sort of top section of all the wardrobes, including our walk-in wardrobe, I only dusted it with like my long green dusting wand. I didn't actually hop up on a chair and give it a good wipe down and spray. And so I decided that that really needed to happen, and I'm so glad that I did. I only did our bedroom one this evening, but I will need to go around and do the 3 other ones in the smaller bedrooms, but I was pretty grossed out by how dirty my cloth ended up being after doing that. It was well in need of a go. Speaking of which, the last time I cleaned out this drain, it was revolting. So I decided that needed to be on the to-do list as well. But this time it was actually quite good. So I was pleasantly surprised. We are on a new day here, and both the inside and outside of my car needed to go. Hunter and I went through the car wash together. This was his first time in the car wash, so he had like a very fun experience, seeing all the suds and the water, so it kind of made it a bit interesting going and getting the car cleaned. And now I'm able to cross a few things off the to-do list. I still have a few more on there. The one that I'm getting up to this evening is to clean, tidy / rearrange both of Hunter's areas. So this is in our little activities room. Obviously wanted to give it a vacuum. Look just how satisfying those vacuum lines are. Does anyone else just get like really excited by vacuum lines, just knowing that the carpet is super clean? And then also in his room, I wanted to change around the placement of his change table, just because I felt like the design of the room wasn't really working and I wanted to open up the space a bit. So I'm getting Dave to help me put it in this corner, and then I'm going to go put his little play mat and toys in the other area, and just swap out some of the books that we've got in his little mini bookcase to ones that are a bit more age appropriate. I'm trying to really embrace this idea of slow productivity and not to rush to get everything done in one day. So you notice that this is probably going over the span of a week. It's a new day, and my goal of the day is to vacuum out the inside of my car. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's in the garage, maybe it's because I need to get the big vacuum cleaner out, but I honestly hate vacuuming out my car. It's probably like one of my most dreaded activities. But I'm so glad that it's done. Inside's clean, outside's clean, and I feel a whole heap refreshed. And while I'm sort of out and about in that outside area, I'm going to go over my plants again with the soapy water. I have did that once to help get rid of aphids, and I feel like it really made such a difference, but I want to do it again just to cement that anti-aphid situation and help them get all nice and clean. I'm also going to grab our little de-cobweb brush here and go around and do both the fence and some of our outside windows. And I've donned Dave's thongs, so I look a little bit daggy, sorry about that. But here's another one of these things that just gives me satisfaction watching back, seeing all of this dirt pile up as I sweep it off the veranda, because majority of our backyard is dirt at the moment. This veranda just gets so filthy all the time. It just really irks me. I can't wait until the summertime when the backyard is looking a whole heap more put together and we can actually have this as a usable space. But for now, I'm just trying to keep it as tidy as possible. It's also the end of the week, so the fridge is looking really sad. So I like to take that as the opportunity to give it a good clean out rather than when it has heaps of things in it that I need to take out. So I'm just going to spray and wipe down the shelves using some kitchen spray and just some paper towel, and then I'll stack everything back in there. I've got a working shopping list going, and then the next day I'll head predominantly to Aldi, but then to Woolies as well if I need to grab a few things that I can't get at Aldi, just to do our weekly food shop. dog crunchies were on the shopping list this week, and after I did the weekly grocery shop, I also called into Kmart because I wanted to look for some tubs that I could put all of his crunchies in just to make the feeding process a whole heap cleaner and easier. And I found these two metal ones that actually say pet food, so they're really cute and aesthetic, and they also have the lids to go with them, so they help to keep the food fresh and any other animals away from it. So that is great, just a lot more of a tidier system for the back there. And I also wanted to just clean up this little area of boxes in the garage, kind of consolidate the boxes as much as possible and just shuffle a few things around to make better use of the space. We've got a lot of things in the garage with Dave's work things, these boxes, our bikes, the car. And we are going to be looking to redo the garage shortly, but in the meantime, I want to make it sort of as organized and just seamless as I possibly can. So I'm just going to finish that off with a little bit of a sweep as well. I've been really impressed with how much I've been able to tick off my to-do list over the past week. There are only 2 things that I wasn't able to get done. Number 1 is take our old dryer that literally blew up to the tip, because I need Dave for that. He needs to help put it onto the back of his ute, and obviously we need his ute in order to take it to the tip, but he has been using that for a lot of projects around the yard, so that's still sitting in the garage at the moment, but hopefully we can remove it shortly. And then the second thing that I didn't get done was I wanted to pick up some flowers for a little garden section in the backyard from Bunnings, but I have a very specific idea of what I'm looking for. I did go to Bunnings, but I didn't film it, just to scope out their flower / plant selection, and I found something that was kind of similar, but I wasn't sure if it was going to work necessarily, so I didn't purchase. And I will continue to have a look and see if I can maybe have a scope out at some other nurseries or Bunnings at different locations to see what sort of options that they have available. So those 2 did not get complete, but I'm not too worried about them because all my other jobs did get done, and I feel really happy with my progress thus far. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this cleaning motivation / get it all done with me video. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I upload new ones every single week. With that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.